Welcome to Alexander County Now. In this July episode, we'll be speaking with Pete Woods of the Hiddenite Center about the Summer on the Square concert series. We'll also be speaking with Linda Graham, who is the Executive Director at the CVCC Alexander Center for Education. Also, July is National Parks and Recreation Month, and we'll be speaking with Lee Sharpe about this month's history segment and learn more about the history of newspapers in Alexander County. All this and more on this edition of Alexander County Now. In this month's events segment, we'll be speaking with Pete Woods, who is the Executive Director at the Hiddenite Center, about the Summer on the Square concert series. They've got two big events coming up, and he's going to tell us all about them.
The Hiddenite Center has a wide variety of fun and affordable opportunities to experience in the arts this summer. We invite you to make the Hiddenite Center your all-inclusive summer arts destination for the entire family. Our annual Summer on the Square free concert series kicked off on June 28th with a performance by Cesar Avedo and his six-piece Caribbean Afro-Cuban salsa musical performance. He filled the entire square with a unique blend of congas, timbales, piano, saxophones, and bass flute. The Summer on the Square will continue with another free performance by Kathy Estes, Danny Wicker, Nathan Rash, and a childhood friend of mine, Mel Jones, on Sunday, July 27th, starting at 7:30, playing Celtic, jazz, and mountain music. All summer on the concerts are held right here on the lawn of the Alexander County Courthouse and are completely free of charge. Alexander County's own Idle Time Band will headline our Summer on the Square finale concert performance on Sunday, August 17th. This evening of free bluegrass music on the courthouse lawn will begin at 7:30 p.m. Everyone is encouraged to join us for what is sure to be an outstanding performance. So mark your calendars, bring your lawn chairs, picnic blankets, gather your family and friends to enjoy these free summer arts events. I want to say a special thank you to our partners in the arts and everyone across Alexander County who make it possible for us to bring free community concerts to downtown Taylorsville each year. Summer on the Square is made possible through generous support of the town of Taylorsville, Alexander County government, North Carolina Arts Council, the R.Y. and Eileen Lackey Sharpe Foundation, and the Winston-Salem Foundation. Make sure to visit hiddenitecenter.com to learn more about our concert series, as well as new exhibits, classes, and performing arts events throughout the entire year.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Sounds like a lot of fun. Folks, you need to go out to the Alexander County Courthouse lawn and enjoy those free concerts. We do have a lot going on here in Alexander County, a lot of fun things to do. In this month's People segment, we speak with Linda Graham, who is the Executive Director at the CVCC Alexander Center for Education. Linda's going to tell us about herself and her job at the college.
My name is Linda Graham. I am the Executive Director for the Catawba Valley Community College Alexander Center for Education. I actually grew up in Jacksonville, North Carolina, on a small farm, tobacco farm, and with my mom and dad, who owned and operated our small tobacco farm. And I have an older brother and sister, and my childhood memories revolve around working hard and playing hard and making up our own games, because obviously, you know, working on a tobacco farm, sometimes you have to be innovative and find resourceful ways to have fun. And we did that on a regular basis, and I always complained in the summertime that some of my friends would be off in camps and things like that, but I knew exactly what I would be doing, and that would be working with these two hands, and that would put food on our table and clothes on our backs. And as a matter of fact, all three of us were first-generation college students, and my parents have always been very proud of that. And we did that on a tobacco farm income without any financial assistance. So those family ties and the family work habits really did pay off. And we all three went on to obtain our master's degrees. So you can imagine my parents' chests at that point as just bursting with pride. So they're very proud of us. After obtaining my teaching degree from East Carolina University, But I did have a start with the community college, one semester, and then transferring to East Carolina. I taught at Camp Lejeune Dependent Schools for 3 years, and in the summer I went back to school at UNC Chapel Hill, where I earned a degree in counseling. And my first job after teaching was at East Carolina University, working in the University Residence Life Department. And there is where, in Greenville, North Carolina, that I met my husband, Dale, who's a district court judge here in the community. And we met in Greenville and fell in love. And while we were dating, he said that he was planning to move back to Taylorsville. And I asked him, where is Taylorsville? And 25 years now being married, I tell everyone where Taylorsville is, because this is just the best place that I can think of. And I've lived in several places across the state to raise a family and to meet people, good people, that would give you the shirt off their back, even if they didn't know you. And let me tell you one little story about Alexander County and when I knew this would be my home and I would not live anywhere else. I was pregnant with our first child, Lawrence, who is, by the way, graduating this year, and we are so proud of him. And our younger son is Matthew, and we're equally as proud of him. We've been very blessed. God has blessed us richly. But during my first pregnancy, I remember I was working at Alexander Central High School at the time in the counseling department. And I must have been way out to here, and I had a food urge. I was going to make spaghetti that night, and I had to have, normally I would have reached in my mom's cupboard and gotten some canned tomatoes, but I didn't have a garden and I didn't have any fresh canned tomatoes. So on my way home, I thought, what am I going to do for some canned tomatoes? Well, the first place I stopped, which is actually very convenient for me, is the Bowman store in Wittenberg. They're known for their ice cream, however, but I just knew that they had all kinds of grocery goods inside. So I went in, started looking on the shelves for some canned tomatoes. And Miss Bowman, if you know her, you gotta love her. She said in her nice southern warm accent, "What are you looking for?" And I said, "I'm looking for some canned tomatoes." And she said, "What are you making?" And I said, "I am making some spaghetti sauce." And I said, normally, you know, I would have some from the garden. I said, but I don't have a garden. She said, "Wait just a minute." And I thought she was going to reach down and find some canned tomatoes. No, she went around the back of the building somewhere, came back with a fresh canned tomatoes that she probably, or someone in her family, harvested and canned. And she handed that to me without a word. And I said, "You're giving me your own canned tomatoes?" And she said, "Yes, honey, I think you'll enjoy them." And so, you know, that's the kind of community we live in. They go the extra mile to do things to make you happy. Working hard and playing hard is a common theme that is inherent in all our families in Alexander County. Traditionally, we are a community that works with their hands. And growing up, you know, we didn't know any differently. So I can remember my first paycheck teaching school. I got my first paycheck, and it had, you know, to me it was a lot of money at one time. And I looked at my hands when I looked at the paycheck, and I thought, I didn't even get my hands dirty. And look what I got for doing something that I love to do. I didn't love working in tobacco, but I loved working with children. So, but that mentality it is across elementary, middle, high school mentality. The folks that work in our business and industry that I've had the pleasure of meeting, their employees, you know, the educators in this community, all walks of life, the church community, the community of faith, you know, all walks of life you don't see a lot of people, you know, with a lot of idle time on their hands, because we are a community that's rich with extracurricular activities and wonderful things to do, like our Rocky Face, you know, the climbing exercise, and just the serene atmosphere at Rocky Face. It keeps bringing people back and bringing their families and other people who aren't familiar with this community. That's a great visiting place. Our ball fields, they're always full. From kids in a stroller to grandparents, all ages enjoy the ball teams. Every you know, type of sport you can imagine. I know my own children grew up with that mentality. And when I talk to folks in other, maybe even larger communities, they may be a little overwhelmed with what, you know, their kids can get involved with, but I think our community embraces certain things within our community, and we build on those, and athletics tends to be one of those expectations, is that your children just participate in some type of sport. And that's good for their physical, their mental, it helps them in the classroom, it just helps them all the way around. I was fortunate enough to attend the Board of Education meeting last night, where our softball girls are #1 in the nation, and one of the things that was mentioned is that they were #2 in the nation for academics, highest GPA. So you can see that's just one example of, yes, we're a community of believers of being physical, being active. Hard work pays off in the long run, and it certainly does. Cheering for each other's successes and helping each other when we experience some downfalls. But it's apparent in the classroom too, because we graduate some of the finest young people anywhere. And our hope and plan is, not just at CVCC, but I think as a community, is that we want these young people to come back to Alexander County and share their talents and their newly developed skills, and bring those back and make them a part of Alexander County for our future. After Dale and I got married, my first job was actually in Hickory City Schools. I did apply in Alexander County, but there were no job openings at the time. So I worked in Hickory City Schools for about 1.5 years. But during that 1.5 years, obviously, I was more involved after work with the community. And I joined a church quickly, became familiar with you know, folks in the community, and they encouraged me to reapply to Alexander County Schools, because this is where, you know, I was eventually going to raise my children, or our children. And so I did, and I remember getting an interview and getting a job working at Alexander Central High School with Dr. Ruby Little and Jean Reed and Joanne Thomas, and we were the dynamic foursome. We had a good thing going, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Met lots of great people through that endeavor. Worked there for 17 years, as a matter of fact. And wouldn't have traded those experiences for anything, because that experience at the high school helped connect me with more people today than you can imagine, and just wonderful people. It's great to see, you know, children grow up and leave, and then eventually bring their children back through the school system. It comes full circle. And it's just a great experience to work in a counseling capacity, and it was. And it's still a great place for students to go and talk to their counselors about their futures. While I was a counselor at Alexander Central, one of my job duties was to be the liaison for the Alexander Center. At the time, it was just called CVCC Alexander Center. And my job was to talk with the CVCC administration about classes that the high school students might be interested. So when the executive director moved, the one that was currently here in 2008, one of the CVCC administrators called me and said, you know, the executive director's leaving. I think you might be a good fit. Why don't you get your application in? You know a lot already about higher education. You've been working with that transition from high school to college anyway. So I did. And I met directly with Dr. Henshaw. And he's been very passionate about higher education in Alexander County. And I know that he wanted someone that was somewhat familiar with the people in Alexander County. So needless to say, and thankful for me, I was offered the position. So April 1st, 2008 is when I started working here. And I have seen this community over the past 6 years embrace higher education more than what I could have imagined while I was working at Alexander Central, because I have my job allows me to meet a lot of people in the business and industry community. They tell me the things that they're looking for in an employee, and then we can collaborate closely and build partnerships with business leaders, community leaders, government leaders, educational leaders, and certainly the CVCC administration to dialogue about what needs to happen training-wise in Alexander County. And it's been, you know, looking at the past 6 years, it's been like a puzzle. Every piece has kind of has kind of fit together, and every person that I just mentioned has worked together to look at higher education and training needs in this county that's going to affect the future of Alexander County, including the economy of Alexander County. And one of our primary goals is, yes, to work with the high school students to get them engaged so that once they train here, we'll hire them here. Train locally, hire locally. And also with our baby boomers. We know that they are aging out. Someone's got to take their jobs. Someone's got to take their place. So here again, we want to train locally and hire locally, and that's our mission, that's our passion. And everyone I've talked to, all those different facets of who makes up Alexander County and is concerned about the future, they're all playing a big part in making those dreams come true. The future of Alexander County CVCC Alexander Center for Education looks bright because of the role that CVCC is now faced with, and that's training folks in highly skilled areas that's going to get them the training they need, but also get them jobs right here in Alexander County. We're looking at soon, over the next year, looking at an complete upholstery, cutting and sewing program that's going to train folks right across the street at the new facility. And our business and industry folks have skin in the game. They're telling us what types of training they're looking for so that when they're finished, they are job ready. And we're also looking at a complete welding program. Welders, as you may know, they are highly sought, and they can just about write their meal ticket as far as jobs are concerned. The program that we have established on the main campus in Hickory, when those students enroll, there's already someone knocking on their door before they even finish. So we know that their jobs are available. We know that those are skills that are ready to go. We just can't get in there fast enough because employers are screaming for these highly qualified trained workers. Another area that we're going to work on closely that we're hearing from business and industry is the soft skills. We're going to teach those up front. Coming to work on time, how to get along with your colleagues and your site managers, and how to get along as a team player. You know, what are some of the benefits of working in some of our business and industries? So we're going to work on those skills up front. How to speak to one another. Those skills are essential in keeping a job and in particular getting raises in the future. You know, just being a great team member is number one. The future is bright in Alexander County, and I'm so pleased to be even just a small part of it. And as we grow and as we delve into the future, I see only great things happening that haven't happened before. And like Dr. Henshaw always says, the possibilities are endless. And I see that occurring across Alexander County with all the enthusiasm and the dedication and the leadership moving this county forward. This county's in great hands, and we have a lot to look forward to.
Thanks a lot, Linda, for the interview. I thought I knew you before the interview, but we learned some things that are so interesting about your family and about your professional life. So thanks again for the interview, and encourage everybody to go out to CVCC Alexander Center and check out some of the programming they've got going on there. So thanks again.
Since 1985, America has celebrated July as the nation's official Park and Recreation Month. Hi, I'm Alisha Stamey, Park Ranger at Rocky Face Mountain Recreational Area.
And I'm Jon Presnell, Director of Alexander County Parks and Recreation Department. This year, we are focusing on setting trends instead of following them, making 2014 the year people go outside change their outlook, and get involved in their community through parks and recreation.
We are encouraging individuals, families, friends, and coworkers to do something outside every day that they would normally do inside. From picnicking in the park instead of sitting inside at a table to having a meeting outside instead of in an office. There are small ways you can make going outside part of your daily routine.
The parks and recreation facilities run by Alexander County offer ample opportunities to go outside, get inspired, change your outlook, and get involved.
Alexander County takes great pride in our parks and recreation facilities. We believe that a healthy, active community is one of the key elements in promoting growth for our county. We encourage everyone to get out and enjoy one of our many parks here in Alexander County this July and throughout the year.
Having had printer's ink on my fingers for the past 60 years, it just seemed appropriate to talk about newspapers. Almost 4 decades passed from the formation of Alexander County in 1847 until residents had their first newspaper in 1886, the Alexander County Journal, which was published by C.W. Sauer. This first newspaper was printed weekly and continued through February 21st, 1890. During the 1890s, there were several other papers published in Taylorsville, such as the Taylorsville Index, which was on the scene for about 2 years, then the Weekly Visitor, and later the Taylorsville News. Shortly after the turn of the century, J.P. Babington began publication of the Mountain Scout. This paper continued for some 20 years. Then in late 1921, the Mountain Scout was sold and the name changed to the Taylorsville Times. The newspaper has operated under this name since 1922. The newspaper office has been located on East Main Avenue since 1926. Romulus Lenny Tigg Sr., who joined the newspaper in 1918, recalled using a gasoline motor to power the press. Then when electricity came to town, an electric motor was installed. But he noted that the staff had to be sure and make the press run before dark, because when the local citizens turned lights on in their home, there was not enough electricity to run the press. Over the years, there have been a transition from handset type to laser imaging, computer to plate, digital files, plus an online edition, in addition to the paper product. Community newspapers record the history of a community and its people. Our local newspapers were a very important resource in developing the material for Alexander County Treasures. The 368-page history book, which won the 2013 Willie Parker Peace History Book Award from the North Carolina Society of Historians.
It's summertime, folks. Of course, Pete Woods from the Hiddenite Center told you all about the Summer on the Square concert series set for Sunday, July 27th and August 17th. So what else is happening in Alexander County this summer? Well, we've got some big news. The big event in July is the Independence Day celebration. This exciting event on Saturday, July 5th is being sponsored by Alexander County Habitat for Humanity. The morning kicks off with a flagpole dedication at the County Administration Building at 9:30 a.m. At 10:30, there will be a walking parade for children with their decorated bikes, tricycles, strollers, or wagons, beginning at Community One Bank and marching 3 blocks to Town Park. Cash prizes will be awarded to Best of Show winners in the various age groups. At Town Park, there will be food, arts, and crafts vendors, as well as old-fashioned kids' games, and much more for the entire family to enjoy. Another highlight of the day is a cornhole tournament, which begins at 2 p.m. at Town Park. The culminating event of the Independence Day celebration is a free 20-minute professional fireworks display at the Alexander Central High School football field. You can park in the high school parking lot and sit on the bleachers in Cougar Stadium to watch the pyrotechnics. This sounds like a lot of fun, right? Well, it does take a lot of people to make this event a reality. If you would like to volunteer or make a tax-deductible donation, call 828-320-7492. Special thanks goes to Matt Cooksey, Glenn Mays, Brenda McCrae, Kathy Riddle, and everyone else who have worked so hard on this event. Coming up on Saturday, July 12th at 7 p.m., Soldiers in Gray, an original musical play by Stan Clardy of Statesville at the Hiddenite Center. Cost for this dinner theater performance is only $16 each, with meal, entertainment, and tax included. This again is at the Hiddenite Center's educational complex located at 70 Hiddenite Church Road in Hiddenite. Also at the Hiddenite Center's Lucas Mansion Gallery, they're featuring an exhibit entitled Decoration Day through July 31st. This traveling exhibit is on loan from the Mountain Heritage Center at Western Carolina University. The exhibit on display in the gallery includes photographs and educational materials that tell the story of the Appalachian cultural tradition of decorating the graves of loved ones and caring for local cemeteries. The Hiddenite Center is located at 316 Hiddenite Church Road. All Lucas Mansion Gallery exhibits are admission free, and they are open from Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and on Saturday from 10 to 3. Be sure to stop by the Alexander County Visitor Center while you're at the mansion. Grow local, buy local, and eat local. The Alexander County Farmers Market is now open on Saturdays in the old hospital parking lot. The market, which runs from 8 to 12 every Saturday morning during the growing season, has been very successful for both vendors and buyers in the past. All items must be grown or produced locally or in our region of North Carolina. Market spaces are available for only $3 a spot. For anyone wanting to sell some extra garden vegetables or fruits, jams and jellies, or homemade crafts. For more information, call Alexander County Cooperative Extension at 632-4451. On a related note, the Alexander County Garden Club meets monthly on the second Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at the Cooperative Extension Center. This month's meeting will be July 10th. From beginning to advanced gardeners, this club is for you. Contact the Extension Center at 632-4451 for more information. The Brushy Mountain Motorsports Association is planning its next lawnmower race on Saturday, July 12th at 6 p.m. at the Taylorsville Lions Club Fairgrounds, located off Highway 16 South. For more information, contact Lisa Jones, President, at 828-320-1738. Go out and have a good time at the lawnmower race. Also, the Bethlehem branch of the Alexander County Library is hosting a Foothills Painters exhibit through July 31st. The branch is located at 45 Rink Dam Road. Call 828-495-8753 for more information. Also, the Apple City Street Rodders, they're planning a benefit cruise-in on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 10 at Scotty's Hometown Grill. Go out, support a local restaurant and a good cause, and enjoy some classic automobiles. Call Roy Bentley at 828-244-1842 for more information. Hope you have a great July here in Alexander County.